Okay, team, another video for the game that we had against the boys. Wanted to go over a few things here that will definitely help us moving forward. We're going to start up with a build-up that we had, which was quite actually nice, but a few things that we could have done a few things we could have done a little bit better. Okay, so the first one is you guys can see the goalkeeper is passing here to the center back. I'll just let it play and you guys will see how this goes. Okay, and we lose the ball here. Okay, so a few things here that we need to improve on immediately is as we're building the ball here, you guys can see just a little bit of our shape, our two center backs, good positioning, fullback, and then the 8 and 10. We'll see the first thing is that we should not do is have the, in this case, the 10 moving over so far. Drawing, as you can see, two players will be drawn into this middle part, congesting that area. So 1, 2 players. The 8 and 10's job is actually to cover the fullbacks. So the fullback in this case should have already been up here as high as possible in line with their last defense. And the 8 or 10 in this case would be up here covering the gaps and following the fullback to make sure that in case there's a counterattack, they're there. Okay, now in this scenario, this pass that was made to the fullback is really great. I thought that this was a really good build-up because we covered building from the back, we covered building through the middle with that drill where the you target the 9. In this case, we were building up really nicely through the middle. We sent the ball to the 9. 9 got the ball, nice spin, and did a great job switching the field. Just one thing to keep in mind, if possible, the best passes are always obviously the most dangerous passes, I would say, are always forward if possible. So this is a great ball. But another one thing to think here is one of our forwards is here. Their line is high, so lots of space here. If we could slip that ball through and have that forward running in on the outside through, that's an easy goal. So just something to think about. Again, this is a really great pass here, but if we could have slipped it through here, through this gap. Remember the game Rondo, slip the ball through the gaps, and then the forward from this side running in and has an easy opportunity to score. With that said, that is something that we definitely need to work on, keep our heads up and send the balls forward. But just so you guys remember, last practice on Thursday, we did the passing drill with the 3 mannequins. This is exactly why. When you take the ball into the middle like this, you can slip it through the 2 mannequins, as you guys remember in the drill, and then the forward runs on and scores a goal. So everything we do in the practice sessions has a purpose. It's all designed for that. Okay. Second thing that we need to improve on is what we call the counter pressing that we talked about and developed. So in this case, we lost the ball, and as you guys can see, we have 3 forwards are up, all of our mids are up, and our fullback is up. So we're vulnerable in the back. So we have to figure out a way here, as we lost it, not giving the opponents an opportunity to transition against us. So how can we do that? Is the first thing we need to do is have an understanding in this case. This forward needs to have this player take him wide, take him into this little corridor where they don't have space to switch the field. We make a little bit of a mistake going the wrong way. You have to go in here and force this player wide. And then very important from the fullback, let me show you. When this pass is made, the second we realize that the mistake was made and the ball didn't get to our player, we have to continue the sprint at the ball. Continue the sprint forward at the ball and cut off any opportunity to pass. Okay, so this is what it would have looked like if it was successful. Look at your lines. This fullback full sprint, forward would have to loop around and draw this player wide. And as this player takes a touch wide, fullback is already at their feet. We tuck in here, we tuck in here. Chiara would come in here, who was playing the 10. Mari comes in here, and then our 6 would be behind, covering any long balls if there are any. But if we are able to do that quickly and realize that let's dispossess the opponent before they have an opportunity to even switch or turn, it's really good, because we didn't do that, and look what happened. We dropped off, gave them the opportunity to switch, and now 7 of our players are in the opponent's half, and now we have to run 90 meters back to try and recover this. Okay, so we want to make sure that we can counter press quickly and have them lose the ball in their own half, so that we can stay up there and not be vulnerable to any counter attacks like this. Luckily, we were on offsides here, so didn't matter. Okay, I'm going to go back to 24. Just the role of a fullback, a little bit discussing. As we lost that ball and the fullback is running back, you guys can see I'm going to freeze it at 28 here. Just one thing you guys have to remember. Let's talk about the midfielder first. We lost the ball in, we didn't counter press well, so we lost the ball. They're countering us. And the mid gets the ball here. We know we're vulnerable because their counter attack worked. They're in our half now. This is where the mid has to make sure that they play a very physical game in a way, try to dispossess the ball as much as they can. So going in a little bit harder in the challenge here, more body to body, being a little bit more feisty there would help tremendously. And role of fullback, let me just go over that as well really quickly. So as you guys can see, as the ball is traveling, when it gets to here, the fullback here is trying to mark a player. As you guys can see, dropping off here to mark a player. The fullback has to be in here, in a line with the defense, and not allowing this gap for the ball to go through the gap. This player is less important. You have to drop back here. So if that pass is made here, you can still step up. This player is not as important to goal. But if that pass is made here and now they're going to goal. So this player needs to tuck in and cover that space. So, and then again, you guys can see when that pass is made, again, the fullback is following a player instead of being here close in the gap. Again, following the player instead of being here. So you guys just have to understand that it's very, see, if this wasn't offsides, it would have been one-on-one, two-on-one actually, if it wasn't offsides. So the fullback has to really be in here, making sure that they don't get split in the gap and that they follow the most dangerous players. Okay, any questions there, let me know. I'm going to show you guys really good build-up from you guys. It starts here. I'll just show you guys and then we'll go over what happens. It's a really good set of plays. So we got the ball off of offsides. Okay, So let's go back and figure out the things we could have done better, and we'll help you guys with that. So the build up here was really nice. You guys should demonstrate that you guys are holding the ball well, getting up to the opponent's half. Just how can we put the ball in the back of their net before they can counterattack us here, right? So we're gonna just go to this game. I'll just speed it up. So the first thing is, as we come to this position, our 10 in this case gets the ball, makes a good turn, gets some space. So now we are here. What we could do, in my opinion, is the players that have complete vision over the entire field are able to pass the ball in the most dangerous area. And there's two that I notice here. One is if we can send a slice ball over here, and when I say a slice ball, that means a ball with a backspin that would go over the defense. It would stop here, and then our forward would run on and score. So that would be the most dangerous ball. The most dangerous ball, like I said, is always the through ball, right? But the second one would be if our fullback would read this play and come up here all the way wide. If we can pin that ball all the way to our fullback, and then we're already creating 2v1s to go to goal. So that would be, again, if you guys notice here, this is the three mannequin drill that you guys did with Ryan. If you notice the player, you receive the ball, you turn, and then you send the ball through the two mannequins, just like the drills. So that's the importance of the drills. Everything we do, like I said, at practice, has a purpose for the game. So we wanted to create that mentality with you guys in that area. And again, our 8 in this case, again out of position, too far, drawing everyone in, needs to stay out here, push the fullback up high. That way we can cover each other, that switch happens, and then we can go on a 2v1 situation, okay? So if we, like I said, if we had played in another game and we can improve these things, instead of getting scored on, we can put the ball away on them, okay? The next one will be at 3:14. This is a defense one. Never know what position you'll play, so pay attention for this. But we have done some defensive drills, and I'm going to freeze it right here. And we talked about the 4 defenders running back together to cover the gap here, and then one would step. But you guys have done a really great job of doing that. But there's few details that we need to do in order to make it that ideal situation. So first one is we're going to talk about the center back Yuli. Let's not run backwards facing our goal when this happens. As you can see, you start running backwards, and because you're running backwards, you're opening the corridor here for a pass. If you're running sideways, as we covered in practice, you can, as the pass is going to be made, you can step up and cut off the pass. So which we actually call that a shadow. You're running, you're approximately here, you're covering this player, you're running back, but you're creating a shadow to this player. You're not, which means you're cutting off the passing lane, plus you're covering. So you can actually cover 2 people at a time. That's why it's so important to run sideways rather than just forward. Okay, and then the second thing that we can improve on is the other center back, which has done a good job here in a sprint. As you guys can see, great cover. But when this happened, we slow down and we start jogging, as you can see, and we jog, and it's a goal. What we can improve on here is, as soon as we see this pass is made, we need to continue the sprint, and we cover our goalkeeper. So our goalkeeper steps, you're sprinting in here. So when this shot happens, you're closer to here, you can slide tackle, you can, depending on where the ball is, player in the space and time, you could slide tackle, you can take the ball, and you can clear it out. That's one thing, Sydney, I did tell you at the 6v6 game, where we were targeting the 9, we can slide tackle the ball out of the when the small goals happen and stuff like that. So the center backs have to cover the goalkeeper as well. So in that case, slide it out, and then we have saved the goal. Okay, if possible, of course, it's not always going to work, but that would be the right thing to do. Okay, let's go over the next one. So let me just go over that. So if you guys can see, we make a pass to keeper, which is okay because we didn't lose possession. But again, if you guys remember the 3 mannequin drill with Ryan, again, this is exactly it. Take the space into the middle. And again, just if we notice their line is really high up, they're giving us so much space behind them. So we have a forward. If we can pin the ball just simply through them in this gap, we can have 2 forwards run on and score a simple goal. So this game can be very simple if you guys understand the importance. And as much as we played really well, we need to work on a little bit of picking our heads up and sending the most crucial, important pass that there is, and that is, the pass that will get us a goal. So work on that. Next game tomorrow, Saturday, you guys will have the opportunity to play a little bit more direct and try to create opportunities to score with that. Okay, now we're gonna go one more thing that I've noticed that we've done a little bit at the practices as well. The build-up is happening here. Center back to fullback. Fullback gets the ball. There's no passing option forward, so we do a good job here. Center back is wide open, and we try to skip the center back and the goalie and try to hit the far side. Center back, and then we give them an opportunity to score. Where we need to make sure is if we are in this position and we take the space, this is fine. Can we play it to the nearest center back? If that's not an option, the second option is to hit the ball across like this, as harder away from goal for the goalkeeper. But we don't want to skip 2 people to go across the field into a very dangerous area, and because they're going to cut it off and put the ball away. So make sure that we understand that. So center back or goalkeeper, if there's obviously the space, but we don't want to hit it across the goal like that. Next one is defense again. Just want to show you guys a little bit of cover. So as we see here, they're countering us again. Good defensive shape here. But when this pass is made, our center back steps, which is great. The only thing is in here, my opinion is if I were to do it, I would have gone in this challenge a little bit harder because I know it's a counterattack from them, and it's a danger. I'm stepping up as a center back, and if I lose it, they're gonna have opportunity to score. So I would have gone in here a little bit harder, and as you know, as you can see here, when the center back does step up as they're fighting, this is our 6. Our 6 should be covering the center back in here and covering this gap instead of just roaming around. So this is where the 6 should be. It would have been a 2v1. We could have dispossessed them, and instead of that, we get scored on. So these are just little simple things that we can do tactically that will help us, either save us from getting scored on and us scoring a lot of goals. A good thing is that we have what it takes. It's just some minor changes, and I think the most important thing is video. And then you guys just being understanding that the drills that we do or games that we do in the practice sessions have a meaning. And then you guys being able to use those games or drills in the practice sessions so that you guys can go into the game and use it to put teams away. And then one more last one here. It happened up here. So we win the ball back here. Actually, Sydney will win the ball. and then she'll take space, which is great. She's running up the field, takes it into the middle, which is good. And then again, another one of those drills that we did, which is with the 3 mannequins. What do? We split to 2 mannequins. The ball should go in here for our forward to just run on simply and have a goal. You should just slip it through, boom, and then the player is in and it's a goal. Instead, we hold on to it too long and we lose a goal scoring opportunity. So those are the things I would like you guys to make sure you review, make sure you understand. If you have any questions, let me know. But like I said, it was a great game. It's just a few minor details in order to make us go from where we are now into a team that can score a lot of goals and do everything that we are doing. Obviously, the good news is that we have the quality, we have what it takes. If that wasn't the case, then we would have a problem. But in this case, we have the quality, we have what it takes. We just have to watch the videos, see what where we went wrong, what we did well, and then just continue the improvement, continue the process to being an amazing team. Does that make sense? So until next video, we'll talk to you soon.